Welcome back to Green and Gold Gaming. We are doing another background video on Crusade for Myth Drannor. This time, the background and mechanics of Massul of Clan Bloodfury. I'm Renegade Paladin, the narrator.
Hey, I'm Bosheck, the DM.
And I am Massul of the Great Clan Bloodfury.
Glad to have you with us, Massul. Okay, so Massul is a dwarf, and he's a bloodrager, not a barbarian.
Yes.
So, Massul, since you are here, do you want to go through your thoughts? Since Massul's player is here, I should say. Do you want to go through your thoughts on how you built how you came up with Massul and how you decided to build him?
Well, yeah. What I did was, I've always kind of liked the hybrid classes and stuff, and I've never really got a chance to play a bloodrager or a barbarian so much. And since when we were doing the characters and stuff, we didn't really have much for magical, and I kind of saw the bloodrager, and I was like, that kind of seems, interesting because of the fact that, we're mixing the magic with the straight raw rage and stuff. So it's like, it seemed like a very fun build for some jankiness and stuff. And I kind of build him up as a more of a berserker, but with a little bit of magical potential for more self-buffing and stuff, just to kind of offset his natural weaknesses.
Yeah, I mean, the party is actually mostly casters, but we are all like half or third casters. At least at the beginning, we didn't have any full casting class characters. So yeah, that tracks.
And most of them were more of the divine stuff, so it's like, really didn't have much in the arcanes.
And still do not. So, looking at your stat spread, so strength is the highest stat, as befits a melee character. And you need charisma for your casting. Points into wisdom was an interesting choice, but passing will saves never goes out of style, I suppose.
Yeah, and I also wanted him to be someone who was a little bit more in tune with his surroundings, so he was perceptive to the world around him. So that's why I kind of went a little bit higher with wisdom and stuff.
All right. So combat, you have a big old, golf bag full of weapons.
Yeah, I kind of like to view him as a Swiss Army dwarf for weapons. He kind of has one for every situation he could get into.
Yeah, and let's see, dwarf, but of course your primary is Jinx's Fury, and we as viewers last week will recall, Jinx was killed at the climax of our final season right before we leveled. So that is hence the name of the hammer.
Yeah, it's a way of showing tribute to Massul's great friend Jinx, who was, as we know, the big reason why he's even adventuring to this day, because she's the one that actually helped get him unfrozen from stone. So it's just kind of Massul's way of honoring his friend.
Right, and let's see. Inventory is, the usual adventure and stuff, all of the aforementioned golf bag of weapons, and because you're a caster, lots and lots of scrolls and potions. Scrolls and wands. Now, this is the character sheet as we're viewing it here. Is the series here on YouTube is several months behind how we're actually playing. So this is his character sheet several levels after what you're seeing on the show.
This is correct. You got a level 5 Massul here, and the series wraps up as the party transitions to level 4.
3.
Oh crap, you're right.
Yeah, level 3.
Shows what I know. Massul also has some attributes that are incorrect because he has an unconscious condition currently tied to his token. I'm having some trouble fixing it, as we'll be investigating that before our upcoming session. But you might have seen his dexterity was 0, and it should not be.
Oh, I see his dexterity is 12. I think you need to refresh.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah, I took that off. I noticed it myself as well.
Stupid technology.
But yeah, going back with like his stuff, it's like he's realized that he is very limited when it comes to range, so he actually does use his scrolls and wands and stuff to good effect for his ranged combat when need be. And his favorite potion that he has is his enlarged dwarf potions, aka potions of enlarged person, because he really just likes to get big and go waylaying with his big old hammer.
Yeah, and that's quite effective when he does it. So, of course, noting this is later on, we got a wand of light for range options. We got a wand of lightning bolt, magic missile, and I think there's like an upcasted wand of fire in here. Yep, there it is.
Yep, that's was a staff of fire that I converted out of a second edition adventure you guys ran. So it was just functions sort of as a staff, but you can't recharge it.
All right, and features like we got all the. If you're familiar with Pathfinder First Edition, you can probably know what a bloodrager does. They're kind of half barbarian, half sorcerer. And it's a melee build. It's a melee crowd control build. Power attack, cleave, combat reflexes, great cleave.
So pretty much the build idea was to work in unison kind of with his friend Turandel, kind of being his shield since he can't wield a shield. So he's got that nice reach weapon and the cleave feats, so that anything that gets too close to Turandel, he just pretty much mows through it, and he can mow through fiend after fiend after fiend with that grave cleave feat, which I personally have really loved whenever I get to use it. I know some people don't like the cleave feats, but I've actually found that it's a really good feat to use.
When it's good, it's good.
Oh yes.
And traits are Warrior Out of Time, which is his campaign trait. We go through all of the campaign traits in our video on the house rules, which I don't know if we will have hit our 50 subscriber limit because that's set as our 50 subscriber special or not. But, and his second one is Bloody Minded for +1 initiative and intimidate.
Did you trade out any of your dwarven racial abilities for alternate ones, or is Massul just a stock dwarf?
He's pretty much just a stock dwarf. He did choose the alternate level up feat, which allows him to actually get more rages every time he levels up. So I really do focus into that blood rage power of his and stuff, and try to maximize that use and potential.
Oh, you're referring to the dwarf favored class bonus for Blood Rager.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, down at the bottom of the Features tab, you've got Miscellaneous, and you can see a number of boons that Massul's acquired. I think it's prudent to go over the ones that are relevant to the videos we've had already.
Yeah, so the Blessing of the Roses is from our first adventure, the Castle of Corellon. He last smelled the red roses of Corellon Larethian and gets a +2 bonus on strength checks. For the listed, I have it open. Look for the listed, things. Break DCs, moving in and sticking objects.
Yeah, basically versus objects.
Yeah. And the Blood Rager boons here are a mechanic for the campaign that's designed to encourage staying in for more encounters before we rest. So you get 1 at 2 encounters, 4 encounters, and 6 encounters.
So correct.
And every character in the game. Jinx didn't have that because I don't think you'd implemented that before Jinx passed.
Those were acquired when you met the Treant Willow Rose, which will happen during level 3.
Yes. So yeah. And other than that, like you'll see armor attunement, weapon attunement, resistance deflection. We are using the a variation on the automatic bonus progression house rules from Pathfinder Unchained.
That's correct. Also, big fan of those. I use a slightly modified version. We'll go into that in the
we go into that in the house rule video. So skills are fairly spread out. One disabled device, oddly enough, but I guess it lets you roll the dice.
Well, I chose that when I was learning that from my friend Jinx, kind of trying to imitate her a little bit, teaching her some skills. She was teaching me some skills kind of thing. Kind of more of a thematic experience. So it's like, I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's nice to to have the luxury of being guided by the roleplay, which our house rules give us some room to do.
Absolutely. I see Massul has been practicing his singing as well out of the background skill.
Yes.
Yes, he has his friend Rill to thank for his, albeit bad singing, but singing nonetheless.
And spells. It says you are missing your second level spells. You might want to look into that when you're, before we play next.
I don't have second level spells yet.
Why does it say known -2?
That means that he knows too many spells.
Yeah, that's because of my cloak that I have on. It gives me access to certain spells.
Right, I'm sorry.
Yep. Yeah, you should also have a couple of more cantrips there. Looking at your sheet, I haven't audited this sheet for.
Bloodragers don't actually have cantrip spells.
Oh, it's from your.
Yeah,
it's from my cloak as well. Yeah,
Alright,
Massul has a special magical cloak that he uses just to be able to cast detect magic to kind of help look for stuff, and it gives him a nice ability to find secret doors, and that once a day true strike if he really needs to pound his hammer home to people is kind of why I went that route with it.
So your ones there that you actually know are Featherfall, Shield, and Magic Missile.
Yes.
Which is a pretty solid lineup for an armored caster, because Mage Armor doesn't stack, but Shield does.
Oh, and also going back with his skills and stuff too, he also kind of fancies himself a bit of a linguist as well. He really does like to learn new languages. He has picked up learning Halfling from his friend Jinx, and as well as picking up a bit of a Goblin language too from another friend he met. So he likes to pick up new languages whenever he can find the time for them.
That'd be
Kloof. You're referring to Kloof, who was also in Castle of Corellin.
Yep.
Look for more Kloof in the future.
Yes, we do come back to several adventures we did over the course of this first season. And the buffs tab is just the blood rage and all the spell buffs we use.
Yep. That's pretty much it for Massul, right? Anything you want to add?
For Massul. Well, he actually filled out his biography, so his biography tab.
Sure, that's covered in the Massul short.
Yeah, it's covered in the Massul short. So, which is also covered in the campaign introduction video, which is our channel trailer. So, if you have questions about that, you can check that. Questions about the in-character side of things, you can check those out.
Sure, you can post your questions here as well. We'll make sure that Massul gets them and gets back to you.
Yep. Any questions you have about the build or the character, feel free to ask in the comments. So that'll be about it for this edition of background information for Crusade for Myth Drannor here on Green and Gold Gaming. And this is Renegade Paladin, Bosheck, and Massul signing off.
See you later.
For the honor of Clan Bloodfury, good day.